Hey there, Scorpio. Welcome to your June reading. So, Spirit tuned in and gave me an exercise for you to kick off the month of June. And that was to make a list of your internal riches. So, the kinds of things that Spirit was talking to me about is like my great sense of humor, like my great compassion, my great ability at cooking, my ability to sew, whatever. Like, what are kind of the things that are really have been enriching to me? And how can I contribute that enrichment to the world in a way that it becomes really reciprocal? So, some of you have like skills, talents, abilities that perhaps haven't been like applied in the most effective way, or like a new way of finding the intersection or how to share them with people could pop into your mind this month. But that exercise is like it gets the engine started, right? And it has you thinking in that direction and coming up with good ideas about what am I really good at? What am I like? What do other people really admire about me? You might want to ask some people that are close to you that you really, you admire their way of thinking or their heart, and you really like appreciate and put a lot of stock in their opinion. Maybe ask them, like, what would you notice as like some of the things that like, oh wow, you're really again rich in intelligence or rich in fucking handyman skills, like whatever, that's just what Spirit is saying, is like everybody's list is going to look different. And if you think that you have a richness, write that shit down. Don't hold it back because you're like, well, that's kind of weird to say, like, I'm really good at, like, whatever. Don't leave it off the list. You might find again that it's like a weird intersection of things that, like, oh yeah, never thought of putting these 2 or 3 skills together, but when I do that, I can create something that sets me apart from everybody else who might also do photography. Maybe you're a great photographer and you're also very funny and you like memes, and also you're the person who, when they go to the party, they hang out with the cats and the dogs. So maybe you want to do like pet portraits that you make into memes or whatever, and it's like, oh, I didn't know that there was an intersection here, but apparently there is. That's just what Spirit is showing me. Okay, your mileage will vary. All right, Scorpio, let's get into the cards. Let's, with that overarching message in the kind of background of the reading, let's get into the story of your month. Spirit, thank you for helping us tune in for the love, liberation, joy, ease, abundance, fulfillment of Scorpio people. Spirit, we want to know the story of the month of June. Please show us the landmarks of the recent past for Scorpio. What has Scorpio recently been in, and how has that unfolded into the present? The present moment in the month of June for Scorpio Spirit, a predominant phase that Scorpio people will be experiencing in the month of June. Have me pull two. Okay. And Spirit, how is that present unfolding into the future, the likely future? What is the trajectory appearing like from those past and present circumstances and decisions for Scorpio people in the month of June? In Spirit, we want to know your guidance, your advice for Scorpio people in the month of June. What do you want them to know or do or be aware of for their highest good? That one jumped out. I didn't see it. I like to keep them a secret until we find them out together. Okay, Spirit, and what is the climate? What is the energy around Scorpio? What can they expect to encounter in the month of June, Spirit, so that they can best navigate it? Make us aware of the energy around and available so they can use it for their highest good. And Spirit, based on the past, the present, the future, circumstances surrounding Scorpio at this time and in the month of June, what is a likely outcome? What is a likely outcome for Scorpio in the month of June so that they can decide to steer toward it or steer away from it, depending on what they think of it? Okay? And finally, Spirit, we want to know the key. The key to unlocking the month of June for Scorpio people, Spirit. What do you want to make them aware of in the month of June for their highest good? To help them unlock the best and avoid the worst of the month of June. All right. Hey. Hey, okay. Got some beautiful cards here, Scorpio. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Love to see it. Gosh, where do we start? Okay. I love that Spirit started the reading talking about parsing and cultivating your inner riches, like what you have going for you, where you are really like abundant. And we have the Empress, we have the Knight of Pentacles, we got a few things that speak to that abundance. But let's start with your persona card. You are coming through as the Knight of Pentacles in the pursuit of your riches and cultivating already those inner riches. So I can understand why Spirit said that. The Knight of Pentacles knows that slow and steady wins the race. That consistent, everyday application of your skills does ultimately lead to being able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. No pun intended with the Empress sitting in that present position. Labor, huh? Like giving birth to something, right? Something rich. The Empress is the card for luxury and receiving, right? As opposed to the Emperor, who is like active, the yang, the go out there and get it, or go out there and build it. The Empress is like summoning and magnetizing things, good, rich, lovely things toward herself. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So Knight of Pentacles, that's you. In the recent past, Three of Pentacles. You've been building the beginning of something. The 3 indicates an early success or an early milestone, like you'll be able to circle a day on the calendar and be like, oh yeah, this was the day that, I made my first sale, or I completed the first chapter of a book, or the first third, or whatever, where it's like, oh, there's a marker for how far I've come. And yes, I have a ways to go because it's the 3, right? It's not the 8 or the 9 or the 10. It's like this is a kind of a recent thing that I've been cultivating and developing, and it's going places. Spirit is really drawing my eye to the fact that what this person is carving, those 3 coins, their pentacles, they're wheels, right? Kind of like a wheel of fortune. Like things are really beginning to roll with this thing. And as anytime something is beginning to roll, or like you're beginning to see all the potential of something, there is a need to check what's working, what's not working. Spirit is saying early on is the best time to be making adjustments, because let's say that, like this person on the 3 of Pentacles is like a mason, right? They're building something up piece by piece. You want to make adjustments or discover that, like, oh, actually, I don't like this and I want to take this out. And that's one of the ways they're putting it specifically. I actually don't want to do that, or I want to remove this, or this is going to become troublesome down the way, or just is too much trouble. You want to make those, like, find those little places where you need to adapt earlier than later. Once you're at like a 10 of Pentacles and the whole building is built and you're like, ooh, actually, I don't like this, the way I did this cornerstone. I don't think it's actually going to hold steady the way that I want it to. You don't want to make, yeah, and you're unable to make adjustments at that point, right? So now, in this moment, looking at the climate and energy around you, we have the 7 of Pentacles. Take a step back. Take a deep breath. Look at what you've cultivated, what you've already begun to grow, what you, again, those inner riches that you have. When you look at the fruits of how you've grown and cultivated yourself, what's really working and paying off? What's like, what labor is giving fruit? And are there certain labors or certain places that you feel like, oh, I got to put the work in, but they are not yielding any fruit? They're not yielding any reciprocity. They're not, basically, the juice is not worth the squeeze. Are there places where the juice is not worth the squeeze? And are you willing to cut your losses and move on from those things? Because that's what I see here. And some of you are ready and some of you are not. And that's totally okay. No blame, no shame, no judgment. And you are on nobody's timetable except your own. Okay? So the whole point is for you to do what feels right and good to you and what feels like following your own intuition. Okay? But what Spirit is kind of showing me is like there are a couple different general wide paths that Scorpio people like will wander down one of two ways. And one of the ways is, oh my God, like as I take a step back and look at the fruits of my labor and see that like, oh, this juice is not worth the squeeze, I'm cutting that branch right off. For any of you that do grow things, the metaphor that Spirit is giving me is if you have, oh, I was going to pull my tree over here, but I feel like I'll knock down this whole thing. When you have a plant and it grows, you might think, oh, okay, it's growing. I'm not going to cut off any of it because look at it, it's growing. But the truth is that the better that you prune a plant or a tree or a bush, like the fuller and richer the remaining branches will grow, right? So if you have like a long spindly plant, usually the advice is to do some kind of clip, right? So that it will spring, and actually the stress of being clipped encourages it to create new growth. Like, ooh, we lost some growth. We need to, and so there's a little bit of like positive growth, like stress related growth that is potentially here. It takes Spirit is just being real blunt. They're like, it takes some balls, it takes some guts, it takes some courage to clip away one or two of these branches. And this is what Spirit is showing me very specifically, okay? Is some of you have many branches of, let's say, income. Lucky you. Throw some my way, okay? I'm a humble witch. Many of you have many branches, like many branches of income, but you kind of like, oh, but I really want to invest in this other thing over here. And if I were to clip this little investment account or whatever, again, y'all are on a level that I could never even fathom right now, okay? But for those of you for whom that applies, if it's like, oh, it's risky or it's a little scary to clip this branch and take the seeds of the fruit and invest it elsewhere, but it feels like that could be have a really positive, healthy, empress-like outcome. Okay, so again, your mileage will vary. What can you cut off? For some of you, this could be something like, okay, for the past few months, I've been using one of my Saturdays to do this project. And actually, I'm a fixed sign, right? As a Scorpio, you're a fixed sign. I'm a fixed sign, so I really wanted it, and so I've really been sticking with it. But if I'm really fucking honest with myself, it's not turning out in the way that I need it to. So either I make adjustments or I clip it, right? That will serve you. Let's talk about why I'm saying that. Seven of Swords and the Empress as the present, or what the Three of Pentacles unfolds into, depending on where you are in your timeline. Some of the Scorpio people will feel like I'm still solidly in that Three of Pentacles. Some of you are already in that Seven of Pentacles / Seven of Swords, which that's not by accident, right? That we have two sevens in the kind of present moment and then what's around you. There's a need to make a choice and an adjustment. You don't put seven legs on a table. Either you're going to take one away or you're going to add another one, but it's not right or done as is, right? Seven of Swords says withdraw from any battles or mental like marathons. That's actually what Spirit is saying, and mental battles that you don't need to be involved in. There are certain ways, Scorpio, in which you are carrying the swords of other people, like you are carrying other people's battles or desires or needs, and you can, with a clear conscience, drop those and worry about your own. That's going to do you better. And I don't feel like anybody is going to suffer for that. So, this is something Spirit is getting so clear. This is not for every Scorpio, okay? But some of y'all have people in your life that are I'm trying to say this in as kind and compassionate a way as possible, but they're like nothing but a drain on your resources. Like the friend who is only ever calling because they want your counseling, they want your listening ear, they want, oh, can I come over? I'm having a really hard time. And I'm, again, not trying to be without compassion for these people, but there's a need for reciprocity in relationship, right? Like, we don't, we're not going to go the distance with somebody that doesn't give back the same way that they take, right? So I feel for some of you that's like where spirit is talking about. There's some detaching and some culling that needs to happen so that you can flourish. And I really feel like you want to make room because some beautiful new things want to enter your life. We're going to talk about them in just a second. I mean, between the Empress and that Ace of Cups, and then, oh, we've got a lot of good stuff here. But you want to make room. And if you are busy thinking about other people and fulfilling their needs, and like this is the way that spirit is putting it, like fighting their battles for them, your mental bandwidth is going to be taken up and you're not going to have as much available, right? And you're not going to have the space to invite in all these good new things. And that is where spirit was talking about, like, okay, these two general paths where it's like some of you willingly make the adjustments, and some of you fixed signs that we are like, yeah, but not me. I can make this work. Or like, I'm going to stay inside of these parameters, even if, yes, they do feel limiting at times. Sitting in the key position, the Four of Pentacles. So that Three of Pentacles in your past is pointing to there's a lot more that can happen, so don't stop early, right? Don't stop at the four. The Four of Pentacles is this card of feeling limited in our resources in a variety of ways. Like, oh, I don't have any more to give. I couldn't possibly. Some of you are actually in a place where it's like, yeah, I have no more to give because you have these people or these jobs or these whatever that don't give back to you. So it's like, of course you don't feel like, oh yeah, I have everything in me to grow or to give away. Like, no, you might feel like I have to hoard my skills or my money or my time because there's not enough, right? That's the feeling of the Four of Pentacles. But it's important that you know there are cards for not actually like there's not enough. The Four of Pentacles is it feels like there's not enough, or the fear that there will not one day be enough. So let me hold on to. Don't do that. Don't do that. And actually, if you're really feeling like that, try giving a little something away and remembering and finding out how rich you are, okay? Um, as you eliminate unnecessary battles and unnecessary, like, thought whirlpools is something that Spirit is showing me, and that is like guilt, regret, what if, woulda, coulda, shoulda. These are the kinds of thought whirlpools that they're talking about, where it's like there's nothing to even do, and we could spend and lose a lot of time there. Or we could say, I did what I could, stick these couple swords in the ground because I'm not going to take them with me. I'm cutting my losses, I'm taking what's mine, and I'm moving on. That kind of behavior will take you to the Empress place of like, ah, now that I set myself free from that, I'm actually becoming aware of, again, how very rich and abundant I am and how I can bring new things to me without having to do a Seven of Swords or even a Four of Pentacles of holding on. You can make room so that you have more time and energy for yourself and for your the inner life that you want to give birth to. For some of you, it's a project or a business, and for some of you, it's I want to give birth to. I want to draw toward me a new way of living that is like softer, kinder, gentler, more nurturing, more Empress energy, more cup energy into my life, which is here. The Ace of Cups sits in your future, a beautiful new beginning. I can't ignore looking at the combination of the Empress in the present and the Ace of Cups in the future. Some of you might find out that you're pregnant. Some of you might literally be expecting, and it's like, oh yeah, any day now. Like my near future very much is an Ace of Cups. But for all Scorpio people, the potential of like an emotional windfall that shifts the whole landscape, like an emotional flash flood. Like, oh, there's oceans and lakes where there were nothing before. But we need oceans and lakes to feed our pentacle projects. So this is a beautiful thing. And in the guidance position, share. Three of Cups. Get together with people that you love and that you want to exchange with. The Empress and the Three of Cups go very well together. They're very like fun, nurturing, even like luxurious cards. Get together with your friends and your people that make you feel uplifted and appreciated. You need more of that in your life. Ask for it, request it. It will be given to you. That's what I really feel. Sitting in the potential outcome, similar to that Four of Pentacles as the key, some of you will decide to just hang out. And that is not a bad decision. To just hang out and look around and see what is happening. The Hanged One is also an indicator of delays, where it's kind of like, my hands are tied. That's why the Hanged One has their hands behind their back. My hands are tied. I've already made the request or submitted the paperwork or whatever this is, and now like all I can do is sit back and wait to hear what's the result or what's the outcome, or am I hired, or did they approve, or whatever it is. And the Hanged One specifically tells you, hang loose, baby. It's all good. Relax. Things are happening behind the scenes and even inside of you, Empress, that you don't even know about yet. So, like the caterpillar that is inside of the cocoon transforming into the butterfly, you can't rush that process even if you want to. So, really, the best guidance is once you have done the exhale, the step back, the take a look at the big picture and go, this could go, this could go, these resources could be better served, moved over here, or I need to stop wasting my time feeling guilty or bad about that thing I did 20 years ago because I've got the rest of my life ahead of me and I want to have my eyes forward and none of my attention backward. You know what I'm saying, Scorpio? I'm very curious to hear what y'all are feeling. I've got a lot of Scorpio placements myself, if you haven't heard that from me yet. So I'll be curious about how this plays out in my own life, and I would love to hear how it's playing out for you if you care to share. I know I'm saying that to Scorpios. You're like, no, excuse me, this is very personal. Thank you for being your Scorpio. I really appreciate you, and I hope that this serves you very well and hopes you have a better June. Hope I catch you at our Sunday Live every Sunday, 11 a.m. Central, read for everybody. And if I don't catch you there, then I hope I will catch you in your July reading. Till then, Scorpio. Bye-bye.